Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Oh, there you are. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show live stream and podcast. Wow, what a day yesterday. Started off at the meetup, which was fabulous. The meetup atmosphere yesterday. I sent a clip out to everybody because I was so impressed. There were, I think, 4 people, 6 people maybe when I arrived, then 8, then 10, 12, 16. And the table just got longer and longer. It was fantastic. And as Rugby Colin is saying here, great outing yesterday with Carl. And I was calling it the Toyota Prolapse yesterday by mistake. It is not, just correction, it's not called the Toyota Prolapse. It is called the Toyota Prius. And a very fine vehicle it is too, right, Colin? Maybe you could put in the chat there what your review was of the car. But I think it's the best one that we've been very kindly loaned by Caetano Toyota in Caldas de Rainha, and they've lent us a few cars now to try and share with other people our reviews of the cars. And that Toyota Prius, not the Prolapse, but the Prius, is amazing. Wasn't it fun? Especially driving back late last night. A little bit of footage from the agency later on. My guest this morning on this 5th Thursday of May, 30th of May, 2024, when it's Corpus Christi here. It is a public holiday. Be careful. Actually, don't bother if you've got any bureaucratic or official business to do. Just stay at home or enjoy the Corpus Christi celebrations in your locality. Katia beyond Lisbon Lima says, Corpo de Deus, Corpus Christi is a movable feast. Love that phrase, the movable feast. And for most Portuguese, it's a day that mixes mystery and happiness. The mystery is nobody's really sure of what the day celebrates, but everybody's happy to have a day off around late May, early June. That's the happiness. Wonderful. Thank you, Katia, for that. We've got T-Duck Deagle. Deagle, happy birthday to you, my friend. I have a light tan on my face. You look different. Nicer this morning. Thanks, mate. I've had a bit of a shave and a haircut. I look like I've got an owner again, don't I? And the lighting is quite subtle in the studio. And I might even put on touch up my appearance. There's a special button on StreamYard now. And a very special guest this morning who've joined me on this unusual 5th Thursday of the month. Veronica's joining us, our American in Portugal, of course, with an Algarvian summer preview. And then a face and a name we've not seen before on the screen talking about Montessori education. That's the wonderful Ben Wiegelman, who's thrown himself in at the deep end and will be with us at 9:30 this morning. So Veronica first, and let's bring to the screen a lovely video she's made for us by way of introduction to the summer that's going to be happening in the Algarve. Lots of great background information on the Algarve. I've got that clip from the agency due yesterday. I've never seen so many gorgeous and glamorous people in one place, quite frankly, as well as our screen this morning with me and Veronica. But this was, Cascais was rocking yesterday afternoon. It was incredible. It was a really good do that they put on. Lovely little burgers, gin and tonics, beer was flowing. It was great to see a few of the man cavers there. So a little bit of video from there as well. So let's start with Veronica's wonderful video here. Grab your coffee, your tea, and we'll talk to her straight after this.
Welcome to the Algarve, my friends. Here it is. We're at the end of May. It's almost June. Can you believe it? Okay, all you gumpers, this preview of my video is just for you. As we know, Portugal is huge. And where is the Algarve exactly? The Algarve is in the very south of the country, and it covers the exact east to west. It's also known as the Faro region. So don't get confused if you hear Faro. Yep, that's the Algarve. One of the biggest mistakes that I see over and over again with clients when they come to visit is not giving enough time to really see the Algarve from the east to the west. Depending on which roads you take and what you'd like to see, it can take hours to go from the east to the west. And don't forget that there's so many little hidden gems. And if you get off the main highway, you're going to have to head south and then back up north to the highway, or take Highway 125, which can be quite slow. So first, let's break down just general large chunks of the Algarve. This is a central Algarve, and I consider 4 of these quite large counties to be central, even though it's a little bit to the east. You fly into Faro, and Faro is the capital, and then you've got Lule, Salbrashti Airportel, as well as Oliao. Okay, so heading west of Faro, again where you flew in at the Faro airport, is the next chunk that we consider the Midwest Algarve or Central Algarve. And that's going to incorporate a little bit of Lule, Albufeira, Silves, Lagoa, and Portimao. The next region is what we say the West Algarve and the Far West. Villa do Bispo, Lagos, Portimao, and to the north of that area is Algeciras and Monchique. Next up is the east and the far east of the Algarve. This is where I live, and this incorporates the areas or counties of Tavira, Castro Marim, and to the north, what we say the countryside, Alcotim, more of Tavira, Salbrashti Airportel, and, of course, Villarreal de Santo Antonio. Now, when you're looking at Villarreal de Santo Antonio, which is the far east of the Algarve along the beach side, take a note. Look at this. Castro Marim plops down and divides Villarreal de Santo Antonio in 2. So you can be driving along the beach route and be in Villarreal de Santo Antonio, then you're in Castro Marim, then you're back in Villarreal de Santo Antonio again. Okay, Gumpers, this was just a quick special little preview for you. I'll be going through each of the counties in depth. Of course, I'll have videos that are all mine, no AI here, and then discuss a lot of the beaches, places to see, places to live, the little hidden towns, quaint places to visit as well as to live, areas you might not want to live, and all of this will be coming soon. Hello, friends, and welcome to the big, special east to west in the Algarve of Portugal video. Here we are, beach meeting day. We just went swimming. I don't know why we're not in those front row chairs. This is the beauty of the early season. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe with your American in Portugal on YouTube. Cheers, my friends.
Oh, yes, that was superb. Thank you very much. So thoughtful. Thank you for making us our own special video, Veronica. Tudo bem? How are you this morning?
Good. How are you doing today? Another beautiful, perfect day.
It's it's looking a bit cloudy, but you know how it is near the sea. This mistiness, the Silver Coast, for which from some say gets its name, that'll burn off and it'll be a beautiful day, like it was yesterday. It was so wonderful. Our meetup was fabulous yesterday. Perfect weather for my liking, and that carried on into Kashkash until the evening when Colin told me that there was some really windy weather. Well, there was windy weather, and he was telling me that it had come in from the Azores. So you might have a little bit of wind later on, Veronica. I'm afraid to say. But looking lovely at the moment, is it, in Villarreal de Santo Antonio?
Yeah, it's perfect. I have to say perfect for me, because one of the things we always discuss in real estate is what is perfect for you. Is your town too big? It's perfect for me being from Southern California. Yeah. I like kind of the more beachy, warmer vibe. And for here, you know, I was looking at the different regions going, you know what? For having just come over here and looked for less than a year, I kind of feel lucky that I nailed it.
Yeah.
So that's what these videos are for too, to kind of help people see some of the different regions and dig in before they get here.
So helpful. Tell us again what the name of your YouTube channel is so people can subscribe.
Oh, American in Portugal. How hard is that? I'm an American. I'm in Portugal. I'm a big fan of saying what you are, like, good morning, Portugal.
Yes, and that you don't use AI. I noticed that as well. No AI here, thank you very much. So you're all your own work. Are you refusing to engage in that world for the time being?
It's not so much that, like, I'm happy to have it help do a little bit of editing, and I tell it to keep my voice because it's hard to edit your own work when you're doing print, not editing. You can't really do editing. You can ask it to like speed up your video or do something like that. But what the new hit is people are making a bunch of videos, travel videos, where to live. They've never visited the country. They're just telling AI to make a script and then throw in some pictures. And a lot of times you'll notice the pictures aren't even like of that town or city or even country. And I feel like if you're going to share something, share your perspective, share your view, be authentic, but some pretty pictures that someone took are great too. So
very interesting. Maybe, you know, how we thought we'd seen the back of vinyl and now loads of people are buying record players and vinyl again. Maybe there will be people will watch old VHS tapes one day and say, look, there you go. There's no AI on there. That's when images were real and people knew how to make movies. Or watch old live streams with no AI on them.
Well, you know, the big conversation, especially, you know, we don't want to bring up politics, but in politics has been fake news, right? Yeah. And I even saw that from something I wrote that got picked up all over the place. And there was a typo. So you saw it was one article and all of these other agencies picked it up and it wasn't a press release, which you would expect in a press release. Yeah, right. But you just thought, wow, are all of these just bots, you know, scraping data and putting them together either for advertising or to then insert their message when it's time. So, you know, I think as we evolve into a new future, we do need to look at authenticity. And
yeah, absolutely. That's a key word of our times. Yes. Authentic interaction. That's my kind of AI. See what I did there? Yeah.
Like last night.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
The
agency. It was an amazing day yesterday with the Prius. So much to talk about. I don't know where to start. What else would you like to tell us about the Algarve? I mean, basically, we're talking about gearing up for the summer, aren't we? And I'm guessing you're already feeling it down there. People are pouring into the Algarve already, right?
No, because where I've chosen to live is not a tourist destination. So I think some of these destinations, they just get flooded. You know, as soon as the schools are over, that's it. And especially from areas that are rainy or cooler, it's perfect here right now. I have friends traveling throughout Europe, some in Switzerland going, it's a little cold, it's a little rainy. You come here, you have the sun. One point about the Algarve is you don't get the inversion layer. I think coming from California and living in Newport Beach right by the beach, living in El Segundo right by the beach, San Luis Obispo on the ocean, you get that morning inversion layer. And to your point, it burns off halfway through the day.
That's what it's really called, is it, in meteorological circles, the inversion layer?
I don't know. That's what we always called it in California, because it would be wet and cool in the morning when you were walking to school, and then by noon it burned off. But sometimes it would roll back in between 3 to 5. And you're like, we're paying all this extra money and property tax to be right on the beach. So the last place we moved 8 miles inland, and it was enough. You would literally see like the clouds trying to reach over the hills along the beach. And it couldn't get over. It really looked like fingers of the clouds coming down. And yeah, we weren't right on the beach, but we had sun all the time. And it's not like you spend every day on the beach. So I think that's something to look into, the cost and the location you're going to. And some people love that morning inversion layer. They can't handle, you know, the strong sun and the heat. And so it's nice for them for walking. So some people choose it. Some people choose the morning. I mean, you wake up, it is bright sun. I've yet to see an inversion layer here, unless we have rain, which somebody had to do a rain dance for, right? Because we need it in Algarve always.
Did you see them? And
you've got sacrifices. Be careful.
You've got the bird song as well, I hear. Is that right? Are the birds singing outside your window?
Oh, you can hear them. Yeah, they're always chirping. Since I'm up top, kind of in a little, literally one floor down from this, because this is my roof. Clearly, that's a backdrop. My fingers disappear when yes. when I pull my props from the sky. The Portuguese birds.
Ah! Wow! You just put a chicken out of the sky. It's magic. Goodness.
I like that you call him a chicken. His real name can be offensive. So
Wow.
tell
Where
me
did we
about
get
you.
to?
But so basically, I'm launching this month. I've been traveling so much, as you know. We do the
Yes.
shows from
Yes. Yes.
Vietnam, and I don't
Yeah.
know, do we do Cambodia or Thailand, whatever. And it's time to hunker down, get videos out again. I've been a little lazy, and I've had this huge project on my mind for years. And now I feel comfortable enough, having been here almost 8 years now, going on 8 years, that I've visited all of these places and I've really dug in and gotten to know them and some of the hidden beaches. And so now it's time for this big video, which is you saw just a really high level overview. I'm going to break it up into a lot of sections. So we'll go county by county, more of the beach sides before we go inland. Thank you for posting that up. Yeah. So, when you look at these maps and you realize the Algarve is huge. It's huge. I mean, that's 2.5 hours when you're here in Villarreal de Santo Antonio to get all the way down to the point to the left there, Villa d'Obispo, which is where Sagres is.
Yeah.
And you see, you have to, once you get off the highway, there's a lot of back road driving, and many times you get behind an RV, or they call them caravans here.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, caravan. Yeah.
Call them a caravan. Yeah. So, and people will give themselves 3 days and they're like, oh, I'm going to be in Lagos and then I'll pop over to Villarreal for the day. Yeah. That's a minimum of 4 hours driving in a day. It's too much.
Yes. Yeah. It is huge. It's so huge, isn't it? And so diverse. This is a very important message with the Algarve. People think they know it. They really don't, do they? If they think it's one kind of experience, it's such a diversity of experiences down there. So that's fantastic. Any questions you've got this morning? We do have a couple of questions coming in about the Algarve and some statements as well. Algarve, I think, Dimash, good morning to you, Dimash. Algarve has, I think, probably saying the biggest beach in Europe and the second largest beach in the world. Does that mean the total of beaches, or are there particular beaches that get that particular accolade? Oh, Cliff Beach of Praia de Valencia Beach is the most beautiful beach in the world. That's quite a claim, Dimash, near Villamora there as well. It is so beautiful. There's so much of it. What do you make of Dimash's statement there? The best beach.
I've traveled a lot, and every time I come home, I'm like, this is it. In the East Algarve, specifically, when you're talking from Spain all the way to the Rio Formosa preserves, it's soft, fluffy sands. And when you get to the very point where I'm at, you get these huge dunes. And so I don't think I panned into the dunes in that video, but it's just that fluffy sand just piles up and the dunes are getting higher and higher. And the west side is stunning as far as the cliffs. And I say it's the Grand Canyon that comes down with the orange, brilliant colors that comes in and makes just the dramatic cliffs in the west. And you get all these cute little coves. So if you're a boater or you're somebody who does the high-end paddle boarding, like you're very experienced, right? Those little coves are amazing. Figueroa Beach, one of the most stunning also. Clear water, caves. That's about a 20-minute hike in. So some of these are pretty tricky to get to. The one in Albufeira, you're going to have thousands of people in the summer, but that's the party beach, right? So
absolutely.
Again,
that's what I mean about the diversity. You could, if you want one of those really raucous holidays as a young person where you can't remember much of it and you've only got one eyebrow when you fly home, that's you can get that in the Algarve, can't you? And
absolutely.
And you can go to the most secluded, romantic, and beautiful places as well. And that's what I mean about people getting the wrong idea sometimes about the Algarve. That diversity of experience is amazing. A question from T-Duck. Do you get a lot of wind in the Algarve? I mean, it's kind of synonymous with the coastline, isn't it? Or would you say not so much?
No, because again, east to west, can you pop up the map again?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me find
When you look at the west side by Algarve.
Yeah.
Oh, and also reference that little map to the left. Do you see how the Algarve is also called Faro? Because it's the Faro district.
That's the district name as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And so some people say I'm going to Faro. It doesn't mean they're going to the city, which is down at the point there, the little orange point, of in the middle and to the right. When you look over to the left side there, look how big that Portugal is. That's the other thing that people do is they're like, oh, I'm going to pop into Lisbon and Porto, and then I'll come to the Algarve for a couple of days. This area is a few hours, east to west. And look on the left, that's just that light, little tiny most south point. So now when you look at the far, far left, so Algeciras, Sagres, Lagos, they are known for crazy wind. And that's why you get the big waves that come in and they hit the coastline and make those stunning, stunning cliffs. But if you're looking to golf, you know, it's like Cascais. You can't in the afternoon. That wind comes up and it whips through. And in the east, where maybe it's 80 degrees, sorry, I'm American, where it's 80 degrees, it might be 65 on the west side. So again, huge difference because the storms swirl around, they hit the west, they kind of go across the land. And that's why we're so drought stricken and why we have that big fluffy sand. It just doesn't make it to us. But the way that the waves come in from the Atlantic and make their way over eventually to Villarreal de Santo Antonio, protected by Faro, of course, it just starts dumping the sand. And it dumps more sand in the east before it hits Spain. So something about it just dumping all the sand there. Then there's the river into Spain. The first beach they have in Spain, just across the river from Villarreal de Santo Antonio, is called Canela Beach, which is...
Seriously? Is that because of the color of the sand? Why is it called that?
It is. So canela means cinnamon. And that it's like kind of a dirty brown color. And so you get kind of a mixture, call it cinnamon, but it really is the most largest stunning beach all the way from where the Rio Formosa hits all the way to the border of Spain. It's endless. We probably have 10 kilometers of barely accessible beach where we're at, and just fluffy sand dunes, places you can hide, you can hike into, so you have complete privacy. And
this country is, there is so much to see. There's such an abundance, isn't there, of experience. Yesterday, Colin and I, we drove from San Martino, of course, where we were at the meetup for lunch, which was fantastic. Great atmosphere, as I said. Lovely to see everybody there. And Gail and Dwight came. Lovely to meet you in real life as well. Always lovely to meet people for the first time. Then we got in the Prius and we drove to Cascais to this event. But we went via Ericeira, and he showed me a few more basically private beaches, you know, little beaches with a car park and one cafe where they are off the beaten track. And there's so much coastline, so much to see, so many wonderful experiences like you're talking about. So let's not get the wrong idea about the Algarve, that it's what this X, Y, or Z. It is X and Y and Z, isn't it?
It's everything.
It is everything.
And it's country.
Yeah, it's a country. Did you say it's a country in its own?
It's countryside. So
we haven't even talked about that yet, have we? Because you would think it's all about the coast. But we know, don't we? There are people who discovered the Algarve maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago sometimes. People who found the hills up above the coastline in the Algarve and have lived there in seclusion and peace ever since. And there's the most beautiful, tranquil countryside up there as well, isn't there?
Stunning.
Yeah.
I have a new friend that we were going to go to. Actually, this weekend we were going to go to one of his concerts. He's built this huge mansion and he has free concerts for, you just do a little donation for all of the creative types, and he's building it to host creative types. And we were going to go to that, but he filled up. So we went, oh, well, and then it worked out because today I need to go up north with friends. So as soon as I'm off the call with this, I'm heading up to Estrel, Cascais, and Viseu. So
how amazing! Looking forward to those videos. Oh, go and see Hugh. Go to the wonderful. I've got a wonderful place for you to check out up
Please
there
do.
in Viseu. Ericeira has a very beautiful rocky coast, similar to some islands in Hawaii. Check that out as well. Isn't that amazing? Dimash, thank you for your commentary this morning.
Oh, and hello to Trevor. I saw that you had that on there. Trevor's local here, and he's been on great bike rides. I've even showed him one from Villarreal de Santo Antonio to Monte Gordo to Cabezo Beach, all hidden in the pine forest that line the beach. So stunning bike rides. Get those fat tires and get on kind of a sandy pine tree route that you can access all kinds of private beaches.
Amazing. Raj's Indian family in Portugal. We can walk from Castelmarim Beach to Monte Bordo in Villarreal de Sant Antonio as well. Good to see you. You're a big fan of Falaisia Beach as well. That's the best, according to Raj's Indian family in Portugal. Thank you for being here this morning. And yes, James, we were already an hour late, and I didn't expect to be popping into Ericeira. So no offense to you, my friend. It's always difficult to say you went anywhere in Portugal. It's like, what? And you didn't come and see us? I want to see you and have some quality time with you. But I have to say, you live in a very beautiful place, that's for sure, in Ericeira, and a little bit of video from there later on. We've got 5 minutes left with Veronica. If you've got any questions about the Algarve, and the time has flown by as usual, Veronica. And I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add before we reach our time limit. Hi there, Veronica.
No, hello, Anna. But no, maybe that quick other slide. Did you upload 2 slides or just 1?
I did. Yeah. Let me find the other slide here, which is this one, right? Yeah.
Just to make a quick point, when you fly into the Algarve, you fly there into Faro, where it says it's circled. And we call that kind of central Algarve because that's where you fly in. But from there over to the right side, obviously that's the east. And then from there to the left is the west. So most people just fly in and head west and go to Albufeira, Lagos. Those are the 2 big ones, or the Golden Triangle for golfing.
The Golden Triangle. Yeah. And it's funny, isn't it, to call that Central Algarve, because really it's 2/3 over. But of course, that's why people call it that, because it's, it feels like the center, doesn't it? Because you fly in there. And again, my sort of not prejudice exactly, but my first thought, which turns out to be incorrect, about how busy it is in the Algarve at the moment. Go to Faro Airport on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and you'll feel how busy the Algarve is at the moment. But that's not the only.
Don't go. Oh, you can remove the slide. Just don't do it. If you can possibly do it, fly in the shoulder seasons, which are those periods between the holidays. So right after the Easter holidays, there was a huge lull. Flights are cheap. People have spent all their money doing their holidays with their kids or family, right? So utilize those. Don't come on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Call in sick. Go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Great advice. If you're Portuguese, you don't have to do that today. You've got a day off here. Thank you for the researched information here. A day of mystery and happiness. Don't know why there's a holiday. That's the mystery and the happiness. It's nice to have a day off. There you go. You've shared with us the history of Corpus Christi. Holiday was not celebrated in Portugal until 1246. But then, once adopted, never let go of. When the Bishop of Liège instituted the feast in his diocese. Who doesn't like to institute a feast in your diocese first thing in the morning? A Belgian nun. Oh, this is where it gets interesting, right? A Belgian nun who became Saint Juliana dreamed repeatedly of a full moon with a black spot over the church. She believed that the vision was sent to her by Christ, with the moon representing the calendar and the spot, the lack of a festival to celebrate the Eucharist. That's a great interpretation, isn't it? We need another one of those visions, don't we? The holiest element of the church. By 1264, Pope Urban, such an interesting name. Pope Urban, the fourth there, who was formerly the Bishop of Liège, of course, as before, extended the feast throughout the Catholic Church. During the reign of King Alfonso III, the holiday was celebrated with a feast of worship, but in a plot twist, a papal plot twist. But 1317, Pope John XII instituted a processional rite as well as a mass that included the Blessed Sacrament, solemn vespers, and a sermon. Wow. So there you go.
And now you know.
Thank you so much, Veronica. What else would you like to share with us before you go off and probably make more videos, or at least have a nice coffee and enjoy yourself this morning with a few friends in VRSA, I hope?
We're hitting the road. They were like, what time can we leave tomorrow? I'm like, oops, I committed to Good Morning Portugal because we just planned this trip yesterday. So, and these are all Portuguese friends. I will be speaking my Portuguese in the car for 6 hours.
Oh,
so wow. That's it. I'm going to have a great time, and I look forward to posting these videos again, American and Portugal, and then we can have more discussions anytime you want. That was a super high level overview, but my little videos and clips of each town will have separate videos. I'm going to try to keep them short and to the point, and then do discussions afterwards about them.
Wonderful. That is superb. Thank you, you legend. Thank you for doing that for us specifically. Thank you for doing this for everybody, and these wonderful introductions to the Algarve. And before you go, you've got an invitation. We will invite Veronica and gang back to Val for another pickleball tournament. You have been to this area for pickleball, haven't you? And there's the invitation to come back. Okay, well, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Take care. And bye for now. There she goes, Veronica. American Portugal. Ciao, ciao. Oh, wonderful start to the morning this morning. Veronica's lovely energy from there in Viera. So the birds were singing in the background. Very special birthday greetings to Deagle this morning, who was in early. And he's 35 miles south of Belfast, I think, having a very special birthday. This was let me just take that comment off the screen. This was the scene, I think, last night. Beautiful blue sky. Enough to patch a sailor's tunic. Is that what you say over there in Belfast? Have a great day, Veronica, says Milen at Winsurance. Or is that Nunu, who's working on the presentation for tonight, putting the final touches on his presentation about the public and private health systems here in Portugal? And also this morning, Deagle, have a beautiful day. Have a wonderful birthday there with Kathy over there. Just a little bit outside of Belfast. You're having a quiet retreat of a birthday, and that was the morning sun, I believe, that greeted you this morning. So have a wonderful day. Parabéns a você. Have a wonderful birthday. Lots of love to you both over there. Right. We don't talk about education in Portugal very much. We've got a specialist joining us now with a particular niche. It is Ben Wiegelman, who's going to talk about Montessori education and a new project here in Óbidos in Portugal, here on the Silver Coast. Nice big round of applause. Hola, bom dia, tudo bem, Ben? How are you?
Bon dia, hello. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
You have a great microphone. Your voice sounds amazing this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And you're here quite close to me on the Silver Coast in Óbidos, is that right?
Yeah, I'm Óbidos, close to the Óbidos Lagoon here, or close to the castle. Óbidos is known for the old medieval castle, right? Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
I felt like when I heard about Algarve, we have this like North California, South California thing here where we think Silver Coast is better than Algarve, right?
Well, she's gone now. We can say that, Ben, right? Yeah, of course it is. But I mean, it's all part of this incredible diversity of experience and landscape in this. It's not a massive country, is it? Let's face it. But there is so much. There is so much to enjoy here, whether it's the east or the west Algarve, or even coming up here to the Silver Coast. How did you get to be here, by the way?
I'm originally from Germany. Here's my accent, right? But I lived in California for 7 years, and my working visa was running out. I was working for startups over there, and was like, "Hey, let's do something new post-COVID." And we were looking worldwide. We were looking into Spain and Costa Rica. Should we go back to Germany? And we had 3 criteria. One was good weather, close to the coast, and international schools.
Check. But not only are there international schools here, you decided to start one. Is that right?
Yeah. That's the plan. We want to start an international Montessori school this summer or this year in September.
Yeah.
And it's in Óbidos. And why do I do it? Because this kind of education is missing up here. We have only 7 international or 7 Montessori projects, which are mostly kindergarten here in Portugal. And also in this area here, we don't have a much international school. The next one is Torres Vedras or Lyra. So it's 45 minutes to an hour drive from here. And we see the need from the community. So I talked to many parents over the last months. And they're coming from all over the world, from Israel, from Brazil, from South Africa. As you know, right? Very international community here. And everybody's like, hey, why this kind of school does not exist here yet? And that's where we start. And we are very...
Good question. It's a good question, isn't it? I mean, the people speak highly of the Portuguese educational system. It's very important within the Portuguese culture, isn't it? The value and power of education, for sure. So people are very proud to be educated to a high level here. And you could say also it's quite traditional in the education of the Industrial Revolution. Is that kind of education that is specialized in here. I don't know what the technical terms are. And you're offering something a little bit different or complementary, which is Montessori. Before we speak specifically about your school, could you tell us a little bit about how Montessori works? It's seen as an alternative form of education, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Maybe I can share you a picture. I like to compare it to a classic school.
Yeah, please do. Oh, is that the word you would use? Classic school. Okay, classic.
I call it classic or traditional school, and then alternative school. And well-known concepts for alternative schools or established schools are Montessori or Waldorf.
Yes, Steiner, Waldorf Steiner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a German in origin, as I recall.
It's founded in Stuttgart, Germany.
Yes.
Also more than 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And Montessori comes from Italy, and she immigrated later to the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
But Montessori, I think there are 224,000 schools worldwide. And when you're in a city like New York or whatever, they are in every corner.
Yes.
And when you come here, they're missing.
Right. Okay. So you're creating an option for parents in Portugal here, which is fascinating. You've got such a good grasp of it. Were you a tech guy in the old days, working with startups? Is that how you have?
Tech. I used to also to be a DJ, so that's why I like technology, like microphones and headphones and things like this.
Wow. Okay, you're the perfect guest from a technical point of view.
I think it's the first time that I'm back on radio for 25 years. When I was a child, I was doing hip hop shows in Germany, my hometown.
Wow, global hip hop and a bit of German hip hop as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic, mixing it up there. Incredible. Okay, so shall I put your slides onto the screen?
Can you see them? Do you see?
I can add that now. There you go.
I don't see you anymore, but it's fine. When you say you see white slides?
I'm seeing you and International Montessori School, Óbidos, Portugal.
Yeah, and below it's our website. It's childrenshouse.pt.
Yeah,
there you can find all information and how we will start. And there's a newsletter. If you have interest, you can sign up there. But the first picture here, which I just grabbed 10 minutes ago from the internet, it shows a classic school.
That's striking terror into the hearts of anyone old enough to remember that kind of scenario, even with inkwells, I think there.
Yeah. What to see, right? You see, what is 25 benches? Everybody's looking to the front. One teacher's performing there. Everybody has to sit still and just follow. And when I look at my children, I think you have children too, right? You have children who start earlier to walk, and the other one starts earlier to talk. And when they're 6 years old, we say, please sit down and follow, and everybody in the same pace, please. Right?
Keep still for 6 hours.
Yeah. And when you also have children, when see children, when they're turning 5, 6 years old, that's actually the stage where children realize, hey, we can do things together, right? So it's not just by themselves. So they are engaging with their friends and say, hey, let's build a shelf, or let's climb the street together. And then they're 6 years old, and we put them and say, hey, be quiet and sit on your place.
Yes, it's incredible, isn't it? It's a lot to ask of these littles, for sure.
Yeah. And my personal story is that when I worked very long in my 20s in nightlife, and was a beach club owner and things like this, and did a lot of music. And then later I went to university. I was almost 30, and I started learning about education, and I had to learn how to learn. Though in this classic school did not teach me that, right? It's like you have to follow everything, but actually how to learn and learn projects and run your own things. I didn't know this, and I learned about, hey, there are different types of learners. There are people who take it more visual, other one has to touch it. Some people even have to smell and taste it, right?
There's some people like that. There are definitely some people like that.
And in one of the books I read about education, there was a professor, and she said so nice. So when you send a child to school, let's say 6th grade, 6 years, first grade, and you ask her if she can dance, if she can sing, if she can draw, she will likely say yes. Okay. But if you take the child from the school, after school, like 10 years, 12 years later, and you ask the same question, it's very likely it will say no. Because it takes, somehow the school system takes a self-confidence from the child, right? We know a 6-year-old child can't draw perfectly, but it has the self-confidence to draw beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And of course,
then you get graded, don't you, according to whether you're a good artist or a bad one.
Right. So then I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for this subject yet because I'm more interested in something else. And then somebody tells me you're not good in it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What I also learned while that was also interesting, she said, so why do you pay the professor in the university the best salary? You should pay the kindergartner the good salary, because they are building the foundation.
Yes.
And we talked, I heard you talked about AI at the beginning, and we don't know what's happening, right? It's a very uncertain world. We went through COVID. We have, unfortunately, war again in Europe, and AI is coming, likely to take our jobs. And if you ask your child today what they want to be when they are grown up, they don't know, because this job title does not exist. Right?
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, that's that trend. I think has been happening for 10 or 20 years anyway, and it's being accelerated now. You're right. The future is so uncertain, and this it's Ken Robinson. I think he's a great speaker in education. I think I'm really making a mess of this probably, but he talks about how we've got a 19th century system designed for a 20th century world for 21st century children. And it's like there's 3 different centuries in there, and it's not, we haven't got. I'm not sure we've, as good as people are performing within the system that you're showing the picture of there, where it originated. It might not be the right set of skills for a very uncertain world in which we don't know what the jobs are going to be like in 5 years' time, let alone 25 years' time, right?
Yeah. For this uncertain world, we have to prepare kids to run project, to have an entrepreneurial mind, to help self-confidence, to do things, right? You don't have to be perfect in everything, even to be an entrepreneur in specific cases.
Wonderful. Now, I love the mission, and I really like this idea of, in uncertainty, you're going for the personal skills, aren't you? You're not programming kids with information that arguably may or may not be useful so that they can pass tests. I think we can always come back to that, can't we? That's a skill now, particularly with the absolute abundance of information. People can learn information and be tested on it and show their competence in it. That's not a difficult thing anymore, as far as I'm concerned. What we're struggling with, perhaps, is character building, and that's almost optional or accidental, isn't it, in many educational systems? Or despite the system, people grow rather than necessarily encourage. And I know I'm painting a very dim picture, because there are a lot of new educationalists and teachers who firmly believe in that, despite the system they might be in. But if you look at these values here, everybody, that Ben is building the new Montessori school, International Montessori School on in Obidos, trust in our children. James picked up on this. Follow the child. I think that's a key principle, isn't it, Montessori? We trust in every child's natural curiosity as a driving force behind their learning and growth. We provide the resources and encouragement for students to explore, question, and discover at their own pace. Now, for a traditional educationalist, it's like, or a traditional parent or a grandparent, it's like, what? You let the children do what they want to do? That's a recipe for having spoiled children with no discipline, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, and no motivation, right? It's this intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. So they have to do it because they want to do it. And of course, like you are running your radio show, right? Nobody tells you to wake up every morning, but you love to do it. You're continuing, you're getting better in every show. And that's the same for children. And let me go to the next slide. On the right side,
sorry, let's go back to yours. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
my word. That's a different scene.
So that's a Montessori school. You see, there's not a teacher in front of it. There are small tables, specific size for the children, and they work together, right? And what you also see, the shelves on the right side, everything is on the height of the child, so the child can access the material. So, and it's also very clean, right? When you look into the shelves there, you see the material is very clean, and we call it different islands. So there's one island for math, there's one island for language, there's one for geography, one for science. Even the teacher can create an own island if they have a specific topic they are discussing.
Oh my goodness, what a lovely idea.
And you see also this carpet there. Usually you have multiple carpets. So every child has a small carpet, a rug, which they put out, and then they do their work on it.
How lovely. So I'm getting an image of sailing across the different islands. You're exploring, aren't you? You're exploring as you go from island to island and to pick up on what attracts your interest.
Right. In the morning, usually kids get dropped up at 8 or what. Then at 9, we start with the morning cycle where the whole school comes together. And then in Germany, we called it was free time. So actually the first 2-3 hours of the day is time which a child can choose what they want to do. Right. Amazing. And whereas we see this child, she's doing math, and she has the numbers in front of us, 1, 10, 100, and 1,000. And then you see also the material. It's like a kind of chain with these pearls on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they use also all their senses, right? It's visual, you can touch it, you can even taste it. And yeah,
For
and the
those
teacher,
for those that like to learn through tasting, as you mentioned before, yes.
it's
Plasticine,
important.
the plasticine eaters of the of the classroom. Yeah,
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
Can I just go back? I mean, I'd love to see
yeah.
more of the slides, but you're talking about a safe space for growth as well. That's the
Mhm.
second one of a part of your mission statement. Our school is
Oh,
designed to be safe and welcoming space where students feel valued, accepted, and supported in their journey of self-discovery and
yeah.
growth. Well, there's a breakthrough. We create an environment where students work together and can make mistakes without fear of judgment. Now, my recollection of school is being absolutely terrified a lot of the time that I
Mhm.
was doing something wrong, that I wasn't good enough, and boo-hoo. I mean, I survived it, but wouldn't it be amazing to have a school where you didn't feel like that all the time, and you actually felt nourished and nurtured and encouraged to do things?
Yes, yes. For me, I always say the school always told me that I'm not good, right?
Yeah,
And it's not fair. And all the kids are so intelligent, and you just don't stop their curiosity to learn things, and trust in the child to learn things on their own pace. They will
yes,
come. They want to be like adults. They want to be grown up. They want to read, write, and discover the world.
yeah, it's true.
And it's just about this building the space where we give the children the child and their pace to learn. And some of them are faster than normal children or normal to traditional schools.
Yeah.
Some take a little bit more time, but it's like small children who can walk or talk first, right? Give them their
Yes.
time.
Absolutely. No pressure,
And
because that's the other thing, isn't it? I think pressure is a very unhelpful influence on children. And as
yeah,
you say, it does come in time. Most things come in time. And we understand, don't we? With parents, you want your kids to do well. You don't want them to be compromised in any way. And I think that's why we hold on to the traditional system of putting a bit of pressure on and maybe judging them a bit and forcing them to do things. Because we don't want it comes from love, that, doesn't it? Let's be honest. It does come from love. And we kind of got a funny way of showing it sometimes.
yeah, yeah. For me, it was also why I'm starting a school as a teacher, as a parent. I mean, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a director. It's also like who should do the revolution for the children, right? The children are too young.
Yes.
I talked to many teachers before, but if you are there in the system, it's hard that you change, or you depend on the salary of the state, right? And I think it's on the
It's
on the
true.
parents to start things
Yes.
like this. And I'm very lucky. What I can tell you, what I'm very lucky. So I'm the entrepreneur guy, right? We are saying, let's do it, let's go. We start September. Nobody holds us back.
Well
My
done.
job is
Well
to
done.
bring parents together. I have already 15 children on my list.
Wow.
That's about the group we want to start with. And so the first thing is how to find teachers here in Abydos on the countryside. And I'm so lucky that I found Laura. Laura comes from California and lives now in Paris. And we found each other on an international Montessori Facebook group and was like, hey,
Fantastic.
wow, we are neighbors.
Yeah.
And she's so experienced. She opened 7 schools before.
Wow. So
Uh,
she's ideal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
she opened schools. She can teach, train people on the job. And Montessori, if you see in the material, a lot of things also has to be built and created. And we also have to create this material in Portuguese, for example, because we want to be a bilingual school from day one. That means in a classroom setting, you have one teacher who's working one-on-one with a child. And then you have another teacher who works around the group and keeps the group going. And one of the teachers will speak English and the other one Portuguese, like a bilingual family. So children can learn pretty quickly and distinguish their languages.
This is wonderful. How's it gone down with the local community and the educational system in Portugal? Has that been an interesting process?
Yeah, we started on the top here. So we reached out to the mayor of Abydos August last year, and they're very, very supportive. So
Right.
they see 2 things here. They see we need alternative education to prepare our children for the future.
Mhm.
Abydos in general is very open with game convention and tech
Yeah. Yeah.
center. It's a very innovative town. And the other thing he sees that more than 10% of the people here in the municipal of Abydos are already immigrants, right? And these are the people from Sweden, from Israel, from Brazil, from Germany and some arriving here and asking for, hey, why is here no international school and why is here no Montessori school? And they're very supportive, and they will give us a building in the city of Amoreira. But we still have to go through the administrative process, and that takes some time. But we are very optimistic to get the building, and the city is very supportive there.
Wonderful. We've got some lovely comments, and I've got a few more video clips to fit in. Maybe we'll carry those over to tomorrow. We've got a God Squad tip of the day, and I really appreciate you being here, Ben, this morning. Thank you so much. The last of your mission statement points. Let's finish on this note, because it is so wonderful. We strive to nurture unshakable self-confidence in each student by providing opportunities for them to discover their strengths and pursue their passions. Individuals at our school are encouraged to speak up for themselves and respect different opinions. Now, those would be pretty good qualities in adults at the moment, wouldn't they?
Yes.
So good luck to you with that. I love your mission here. Just to share with you, I think some of the love that's coming in for your project here. Incorporate tactile. James is a big fan. I think tactile, visual, auditory learning, as well as intellectual. Jackie, good morning to you, Jackie. I believe in teaching kids traditional crafts like knitting and spinning wheels. My kids, my ex-wife's a Steiner teacher, and the kids were very much hands-on at the Steiner schools, the Waldorf Steiner, and drawing and painting and writing. I like the Japanese method of schooling. The kids do the cleaning. Exams aren't sat until they are like 14, and they teach proper lessons like respect for society. They have virtually no truancy either. Well, that's a good sign. If you want to be there, they must be doing something right. I find it a bit sad to realize that as young children, we loved learning, and then for most, we got that love sucked out of us. Absolutely not at this new school. I mean, creative writings using imagination and poetry, says Jackie. We know what you mean. I still love learning, says Viva Ocean Dweller. Didn't get that beat out of me. I'm lucky. Good for you. Grading creates a competitive environment around learning. There's a place for it, isn't there? But if it dominates everything, it creates a certain kind of outcome, of course. I love learning. It's a lifelong pursuit, says Andrew. Great to see you yesterday. Alte in the Algarve is inland and up in hill, Mr. S. Well, thank you for that. Bit random, but thank you very much. And I thank you again, Ben. Come back, Ben. Maybe bring Laura next time. And thank you, says the Squire. But thank you, Ben. We would like to hear more. So there's somebody who's thinking about moving to Portugal, and maybe, you know, when you've got a project of this kind, people start to make their plans around it, don't they? Because if they're coming with kids and they're thinking, you know, hold on a minute, this school sounds amazing, we need to look in that area.
Yes, that's for people like me working from home, right? It's really like nice weather, ocean, and a good school. And
Yes.
that was matter. We don't move there where the big company is anymore. And I'm talking already to people who are moving here right away because of the school. And we have also a lot of kindergarten alternative projects up here, very good forest schools. We are getting a small hub of alternative education here.
That's wonderful. That's really good to know. And how amazing as well, as a kind of beautiful contrast, that Óbidos has this medieval castle, the best of the old, if you like, and the aqueduct. And then the new, this way of this modern. I mean, I guess it's relatively modern, but it's a new way of education, in a sense that it's a complement now to the traditional. So last word to you then, Ben, this morning.
Yeah, to the traditional, just a comment. It's like Montessori is also 100 years old, but it continues, and there's a lot of research on it. That's how children's brains work.
Right.
It's not. Let me call it like it's not a hippie school, right? It's really it's freedom in a kind of limited space, as you saw the schoolroom. So there are other tools for math, and they are self-correcting, and they can work by themselves, the children, and that's a beauty. And I saw this. Why I started this? I saw this with my older daughter. She's 16. She went to this education. She has this unshakable self-confidence. She's speaking up. She works with the community up here, with the teenager community, and that's what I want to have for my daughter and her friends too here.
How lovely. Just a quick note before you go. Pam's saying, for people living in other areas looking for school options, try Alesco, who can advise. That's an educational advice agency. Do you know them, Ben? Because it
I
sounds
think I
like
met them. Yeah, I think I
okay,
met them.
wonderful. All right, that's superb. I wish you all the best, Bosort, with this, and I want to have you back and bring Laura with you, and all the best to you, the teachers, the parents, and the children, of course, foremost and central to this project, the children of the future at the Children's House in Obidos. All the best. Lovely to meet you. Muito prazer.
Yeah, I will invite you when we get the keys to the
even
building.
better. Thank you very
Right.
much. Lovely to make your acquaintance, and I'm just so glad to hear about this. Very inspiring. All the best with it, my friend. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.
Bye.
There he goes. Wonderful. Ben Wiegerman there, and the new Children's House project based on the Montessori educational approach over there in the Obidos area. We've got a few minutes to go. I wanted to show you my lovely car from yesterday. I wanted to play you a bit of video from the agency. And is this a bit of Ericeira here? Oh, that's people being chased by a bull. We'll go out with that. Thank you very much. We'll come back to that. Here's a little bit of the agency, because we should celebrate the opening of the agency shop frontage. Beautiful frontage. Who doesn't like a beautiful frontage first thing in the morning? Here in Cascais. This isn't the new shop. This is where they took over the Praça and had an amazingly glitzy, glamorous, and gorgeous party. Thank you for the invitation, Carl Hyde and the agency. Lovely to meet some of your colleagues. And this is what it was like yesterday. This is that fella off the Netflix series.
This is my second time here. It is not my last time here. I plan on coming here a lot. I love you guys. Let's continue to have fun. I love it here. I love Portugal. From here to the Algarves. I'll be here all week, and I just love everybody here. Thank you so much. Mwah.
Gracias totales.
What a party! What a day there in down there in Cascais. All the best to you, the agency. I think there are other openings, Villa Moura as well. That's coming. And we will share the picture. I've got some memes, of course. Let's do the God Score tip of the day, and we'll finish with the event, the bull running event in Ponte Lima, as a final share with you. There are Montessori schools in Boston, public. They are free. Isn't that great to know as well? Thank you very much, Ben, for being here. Very inspiring talking to you. I'm scrolling back to the beginning of the show this morning to make sure we cover James's mindful meme. We've got some visuals from him, and we've got a bit of video from Ponte Lima as well. Bon dia a todos e feliz quinta on this holiday here in Portugal. I'm busy planning our next trip to Portugal. Not as epic as the road trip, but should be fun all the same. Spending a little more time in fewer places, probably in the centre. We're thinking Viseu, Coimbra and Abranches in the early part of next year. Wow, all part of the long-term plan. Fantastic. Your God Squad tip of the day, a simple standing exercise. So often the feet and ankles are forgotten, yet they need to be strong to support you. Yes, so to start, simply rise up on the balls of your feet and go as high as you can, then slowly move back down, build up to 10 reps. You'll be surprised how hard it can be. Hey, then progress to just using one foot. It may be useful to have something to hang on to. My goodness, matron. Obviously, work both feet. These heel raises help strengthen the foot and ankle as well as the calf, and can be done pretty much anywhere, though you may get some strange looks in the queue at Pingados. But don't let that stop you. Mindful meme from James to go into the day with today, armed with some mindfulness. Think when we get too caught up in the busyness of the world, we lose connection with one another and ourselves. When we get too caught up in the busyness of the world, we lose connection with one another and ourselves. Thank you, Jack Cornfield, for that this morning. Sometimes you just need to sit down, blast your favorite music, and not give a crap about the world for a while. That's not a mindful dad joke. That's solid advice there. Thank you very much for your recommendations, and Nuna for being here. See you tonight at 7:30 on the Expats Portugal webinar. That's getting the hybrid right of public and private healthcare here in Portugal. And morning to you, Anna, Sweden, Portugal, and your mindful memes before we have a look at that footage over there in Ponte Lima. This is a washing instruction there. Wash inside out and remove your child before washing. Just some good public safety advice there. That's actually in a piece of clothing, in a garment for a 3 to 4 year old. You take the kid out before washing. And I love karma. This looks like, is this Twitter? Thank you, James, for this. The man who just drove into the parking space I was waiting for. And I think it says here, told me to F off, basically. Yes, has arrived for his interview with me. What would you say to that person? Lovely images from Owen, and we've got from John up in the north. It is the Vaca das Cordas. It was yesterday. There's a safe place to see it up in the Letraria brewery there. Well done, Owen. Thanks for that picture. The bull walking down the street looking for a pint. People on the bridge waiting in the sandlot also for the bull to go down there and be let off the Cordas, off the rope. And there he is again. Magnificent bull in the street. And a bit of video to finish with. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got quite the free-for-all tomorrow. Lots of co-hosts and guests joining us tomorrow. Here's some video from the north yesterday. A couple of videos back to back. Thank you so much for this, John. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.